I always thought secondhand smoke was bad for my health, but in this encounter with a smoker, I discovered something much worse for my well-being. Welcome to Take Flight. I'm Chana Mason. When I was first introduced to the work of Byron Katie, it seemed like such a fantastic way to deal with my thoughts. But a few days later, I was standing at a bus stop waiting for my 5-year-old to come off his bus, and there was a man standing next to me smoking a cigarette. I didn't like the way the smoke smelled, and I thought it was so disgusting that he was puffing away, since it's just so unhealthy to smoke. I knew that I didn't like the way I felt, but how could I change the clearly factual belief that people shouldn't smoke? If I let it go, would I be condoning or even encouraging smoking? I came to a friend with my diatribe. I don't like feeling angry, I said, but this thought feels as objectively true to me as saying the sky is blue or my eyes are brown. My friend reminded me of the principle that what is true leads us to joy and peace, while what is false leads us to upset and anger. So the question is, do I want to be objectively right, or do I want to be happy and at peace with the world? We use the work of Byron Katie as a tool to figure out how I could align my thoughts to feel joyful in the presence of someone who's smoking. We also explored how I can use this thought as a tool for growth rather than as fodder for upset and anger. Now, I've already identified the thought that's bringing me distress, which is people shouldn't smoke. So the first step I take is to ask the question, is it true? For me, it felt incredibly obvious that the answer was yes. Now we move on to step 2 and ask, can I absolutely know that it's true that people shouldn't smoke? At the time, I said yes, definitely, because I had so much evidence to support that idea. Step 3 requires us to take a moment and really put ourselves in the situation where the thought is quite strong. So in my case, I picture myself standing at the bus stop, seeing this man smoking, and then I ask myself, how do I react when I believe the thought that people shouldn't smoke? The first thing I notice is that my chest gets really tight and constricted. My hands clench into fists and my blood begins to boil. My thinking becomes obsessively focused on the smoker and my frustrations and judgments of him. I can spend more time going deeper into my reactions, but I hope you get the gist. Now we move on to step 4. I take a deep breath and ask myself, how would I be without the thought that people shouldn't smoke? I feel my chest relax. I'm calmer. My focus is now on my excitement to see my son. I'm more aware of all the people around me, not just the smoker. And I notice there's smoke and I don't like the smell, so I just move over to the other side of the bus stop. The funny thing is that when I believed the thought, I was so full of anger that I stood my ground. Now I'm calmer and I can actually take helpful action. So now we can jump into my favorite part of the work, the part that builds my empowerment, step 5. I take the original thought and I turn it around by saying it's a 180-degree opposite. And then I provide at least 3 reasons why it's as true or more true than the original statement. So people shouldn't smoke becomes people should smoke. Now I focus on my specific situation and think about this man at the bus stop. Why is it true that people should smoke? Because they do. People smoke. That's the reality of it. Hundreds of millions of people smoke. I can pretend that I have the power to recreate a world in which people don't smoke, but I can't. I'd be happier accepting the reality created by God, who has, let's be honest, a vastly greater wisdom than my own. Another reason people should smoke is because, I don't know, maybe this guy used to be a druggie and he's actually moved a step up by only using cigarettes to deal with his pain. And because it's a challenging addiction to overcome. I can also turn the original thought around to, I shouldn't smoke. That's true because I hate the smell, I care about my body, and I don't even have a temptation to try. But I can be more creative with this thought and recognize that when I'm standing at the bus stop, seething at this guy, I'm smoking him just like he's smoking cigarettes. I've even got smoke coming out of my ears. I then proceed to take him and his cigarettes with me, smoking them both all the way to my friend's house so I can complain some more. So I shouldn't smoke him. I can also recognize that although I don't smoke cigarettes, I have addictions of my own, like reading books late at night or checking Facebook too often. I can focus on cleaning up my own addictions rather than worrying about this guy who I have no power to change. I can stay in my own business. There are more turnarounds that can be done here, but I hope you've gotten a taste of how the work of Byron Katie can open up your eyes to where you have room to grow. I recommend you try using this amazing tool to process the thoughts that upset you. And if you need assistance, I'm here. Send me an email and we'll book a time to inquire together, either in person or via phone or video conference. Learn more at chanamason.com. In the meantime, I wish you many little joys.